The Big B, the king of the Indian share market, also called the Warren Buffett of India, who started his journey of investment with a mere amount of 5,000 rupees and ended up being a billionaire. He had the capability to shake the whole market all alone because most of the investors not only followed him, but worshipped him as the god of the share market. Yes, I am talking about the legend himself, Late Rakesh Jhunjhunwala. He was born in a middle-class family, with his father being an income tax officer. Actually, his father had also been into the share market as he was also very passionate about it. And it was his father who gave him the first tip regarding the share market scenario, following which he jumped into this pool and came out being the biggest shark. To know what was that first tip his father gave him, be along with me till the end of this video, as I'm going to share it at the end of this video. Unfortunately, this legend has left us recently, but throughout his life, he has blessed us with many lessons and teachings. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the 5 most important lessons that the big bull of the stock market taught us. Let us dive straight into the video. Number 1. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. Mistake is a part of practicing and struggling. If you are afraid of making mistakes, you are afraid of struggling, and if you are not willing to struggle, I'm sorry to say, success is not for you, my friend. And if you are willing to be successful, you have to take decisions, and it is absolutely fine to make mistakes after that. Always keep in mind that making a mistake is not a mistake, but repeating them is a mistake. So be brave and open to learn from those mistakes so that you do not repeat them, willingly or unwillingly. Rakesh says that the best way of learning the stock market is nothing but experience, and experience always comes from mistakes. He said this in an interview, and I quote, "Never be afraid to make a mistake. Only make one you can afford so that you may lift to make another. Because if you are afraid to make a mistake, you cannot make any decision." I am sure this would have stuffed you with some confidence. He says, never blame anyone for your mistakes except yourself. He gave an example from his life. Rakesh said that he once had invested in a company and lost 150 crore rupees. He said that he never shouted at the promoters or anyone. Do you know what he said further? He said that he believes it was his mistake as he lacked in sizing them up. This shows the composure in his attitude, isn't it? Number 2. Quantitative analysis is not enough. This means that if you are going to invest in the stocks of a company, only analyzing the numbers and figures on its balance sheet and various financial statements is not enough to make that investment a successful one. Along with the quantitative analysis, you should also deeply ponder upon the qualitative aspects of the company as well. What does that mean? That means we should thoroughly go through the personnel and the management and analyze their background, and make an estimate accordingly that whether they are capable enough to carry the company towards heights we want it to be. Because if the person is not capable enough, it is better to skip that stock. And this ability and skill of judgment comes from experience, because this skill could not be learned from any kind of course or anything. This is a play of your mental power. Number 3. Never get emotional about your stock ideas. When Rakesh Jhunjhunwala turned 50, he was asked by a reporter whether, as an ace investor, does he sometimes get emotional about any of his stock ideas? And Jhunjhunwala gave a very pure and straight reply. He said that if he had any kind of emotions, then they were for his children and his wife, and maybe for his girlfriend. This casts the situation that surely he was not so much emotional about any of his stocks. He says, I would not say there is no emotion when you have invested for such a long period of time, but they are not such emotions that will not part ways. This sums up Jhunjhunwala's investment philosophy. Invest in the stock market, but if you want to get rich, then never get emotional about your stock ideas and exit on time if needed. This might save you from an upcoming big loss. Number 4. The market is supreme. According to Mr. Jhunjhunwala, the market is supreme, and the market can never be wrong or bad. If something is going wrong, it is no one but yourself. See, if you are never going to believe this fact, this will not make you realize your own mistakes. Rather, you will put everything on the side of the market, blaming it for being wrong. And if you will think that this is not your mistake, you will never be able to learn from it. And if you are not going to learn from your own mistakes, you will be bound to repeat them again and again. Then ultimately, you will lose morale and surely going to be demotivated too. Just think about it once again. Last but not the least, number 5, stay away from tips. This is a very important advice, especially for beginners. Rakesh quotes that try to stay away from stock tips as far as possible, and instead consider conducting your own market research. It is very important before investing in stocks. If you are not capable enough to do analysis on your own, he recommends investing in mutual funds instead. If any famous investor invests in any particular stock and, after researching it on your own, if you feel that it is a good stock to invest in, then you are going good. But putting your hard-earned money in any stock without even proper research, just going with the flow, looking at that big investor, might go hazardous. Stock markets cannot be treated as a place to make quick money. It is not a gamble. One needs to conduct thorough research before investing. Even friendly tips from people should not be applied blindly. One should depend on research and analysis. If you are not able to conduct an analysis of the stock market before investment, you should look for mutual funds, as I said earlier. So, that's all for this video, guys. But wait, let us not end it here. I have a bonus for you guys who stayed till the end of this video. He being a firm believer of long-term investments, Rakesh once said that it is important to give investments some time to mature. Picking good funds or stocks will not be sufficient or good enough if you don't hold them for a long time. And yes, guys, I do remember that I also need to mention the special tip Jhunjhunwala's father gave him. So, when he was just 14 years old, he asked his father what this share market is. His father told him that it is not everyone's cup of tea to understand the share market. Then he gave him the advice which became the reason that we all know him today. His father said, read newspapers, because from there you will get information about various companies, and this would be helpful in making a decision regarding your investment. This was engraved in his mind, and he regularly started analyzing the pieces of information published in the various columns. And, after doing all that, when he was in college, he made his first investment, and after that, he never looked back. Rakesh Jhunjhunwala's tips are widely recognized by investors worldwide. One of the main things you can take back from his advice is the importance of long-term investments and the need to avoid emotional investments. Investing for a long time will definitely help you gain better returns. Investing without allowing emotions to play a part is crucial for successful investments. Conducting market research and investing in equity mutual funds can always prove to be beneficial in the long run. And with this being said, let us put this video to an end. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you also think that Rakesh Jhunjhunwala was a living legend, then do like this video. And before leaving, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you up in the next video. Until then, take very good care of yourselves and stay safe.